You were even early.
Yeah. Lucky. I just went ahead and hit the record button so I won't forget 5 minutes into the meeting. And all right, let's get us all set up. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Listen, this is a trial and error. I'm out of town because we're selling our river home, and I'm up in the Panhandle, and my Wi-Fi is going nuts. So if you lose me, it's not because of me, okay?
Well, you coming in loud and clear, so
Okay, we'll keep our fingers crossed.
we must be downwind or something.
I don't know.
It's pushing those signals right to us.
Yeah, it won't come up on my laptop, but it comes up on my cell phone. So I said, I'll take it.
Well, perfect. We're just waiting for our chair to join us, and we're still a minute off by my clock for our 2:30 start time. And this will be a workshop format again, so just conversation.
Okay. I read the entire report.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I did call you, and I know you've been really busy. I was just going to give you my feedback, but I've made my notes, so.
Good.
I've never done this before, so this is another learning experience for me, using my phone for Zoom instead of my laptop.
Yeah, we're breaking new ground every day, it feels like.
Yeah, teaching an old dog new tricks. That's what you're doing.
Oh, I think we all are.
Oh.
All right. I'll go ahead and share my screen. The slide deck might be a bit small on a phone, but we'll mostly be talking over it.
Yeah, well, it's coming up okay.
Good.
Got my glasses on, so that helps a lot.
I want to make sure I don't miss anyone as they come into the waiting room to be admitted. Got to keep my eyes. All right, it is 2:31. The Economic Development Advisory Committee meeting today is in a workshop format because we are not meeting in person due to COVID concerns. Hopefully that will be rectified soon with a rollout of vaccines, and we'll move away from this format. But while we're in a workshop format, we cannot vote on items. We can, however, continue to meet and discuss and provide feedback to staff on projects that are proceeding. And we can give updates to the committee to let them know how we are moving forward. So as folks come into the meeting, if they're coming in late, we'll just, again, bring them up to speed. And it's a fairly, here's Mr. Arnold. Hey, Jeff, welcome. Hey, Jeff, welcome.
Greetings.
So we're just bringing everyone up to speed. We're in a workshop format today because we're viewing remotely again, and we have a fairly simple agenda. call to order, review of the agenda. Are there any other items that folks would like to discuss that aren't on the agenda today?
I was just wondering about, I saw that they've opened up the PPP again. And it started on Monday for small businesses under 20 employees. Is the county putting anything out to all the small businesses that they can apply for the PPP again?
I will have to find out. I understand also that there will be another round of stimulus for counties and cities coming from the federal government soon regarding federal President Biden's push for the pandemic assistance. So that might be rolled out in concert with the additional federal funds as soon as they get voted on. But I will find out and see what small business assistance is happening.
Yeah, they said it was a 2-week window and it started on Monday. It started this past Monday. And I didn't know if that falls under our, under what we should be announcing or putting out to the small businesses. Maybe the Chamber of Commerce there should be, because the Chamber of Commerce as a nonprofit would be eligible for it too.
Yes, and we've made I know I've reached out to Stacy to let her know about the opportunities for the chamber as a nonprofit to apply.
Yeah, this was only a 2-week window because I've been in touch with quite a few people that were applying for it, and I had been speaking with them about it, and they didn't even know about it, but I happened to be watching TV and saw it. So
I will check again. I do know, Ellen, you are also applying for special funds that are available to municipalities to assist.
We are. We have a grant application we're filing under the CDBG COVID program for a community support building, which would house a local food bank and community support offices that would house social services. So hopefully, if the grant goes through, Hawthorne would have a much better way of handling crises during things like the COVID pandemic.
But I will find out about assistance to businesses.
yeah,
And,
small businesses only, because they're trying to prevent what happened the last time, that the larger businesses got the majority of the money. So you have to have 20 employees and under.
And I'm not seeing anything posted on our website that there's any additional pass-through monies coming through us for small businesses. So I will ask and see if there's anything else moving through our program. Are there any other items not on the agenda that the committee members would like to discuss? All right, with that, I've got my marching orders for small business assistance. On our docket today, we have a review of the Airport Gateway project, where it stands right now, and an update on our Sports Events Center negotiations.
Oh, good.
So we're probably going to be in a period of design and negotiations all these next couple of months, because we've arranged for our term sheets, but we're also just getting ready to put ink on our pre-development agreement, and then we'll jump into a whole round of how do you come up with a larger operational and management agreement as well for after it's built. So there's still a lot of stuff that we need to take care of, because this is a fairly complex and such a very large project that I know it says negotiations, and it makes it sound like, we're done with our negotiations because the board said yes, but there's still several phases where we're still working through the details of this. When you're dealing with a project that's $70 million, there's a tremendous amount of things that you have to work through. And we'll give you some updates on that. We have member comments and then an adjournment. And our next meetings coming up are March 25th, April 22nd, and May 27th. And with that, we'll jump to the Airport Gateway. Uh, the committee should have received the draft project scope. And again, Diana, I appreciate you reading through it and coming up with comments. Heather and I had an excellent conversation today with the director of UF's real estate office. He was giving us some general guidance on some projects, and he mentioned to us his interest in industrial type facilities, that how UF has need of them. And if reading through the draft project scope that I sent out to everyone, you'll notice that we have reserved a space on that committee for UF to give impact on, to give some feedback to us. And it was fortuitous that he happened to mention that, he needs space, and he would like to see more space for UF up around the airport area, which makes me think that we're on the right track with this initial review of a market analysis for that kind of north airport, north Waldo Road and 39th area, to better build out that economic opportunity there. I just received an MOU from the city of Gainesville that better defines the roles for the funding partners. While the scope of work tells you where we're headed overall and the basic components of what might go into the RFP, it doesn't necessarily define the specific roles between the county, which is putting in up to $100,000, and the city of Gainesville, which is putting up to $100,000 for this initial market analysis. So the MOU serves the purpose to kind of codify what we're supposed to do and what they're supposed to do, and how this is a joint venture. I think we've signed MOUs with other projects. We have one with Ellen, with Hawthorne for trail towns right now. So it's a great way to memorialize what our intents are. And so we're going to probably do something very similar for the Airport Gateway project, especially since it's going to have more than one phase. Our goal is not to make a pretty plan and put it on a shelf someplace. Our goal is to execute and to generate greater economic opportunities on the east side, and to see additional development that fits with the character and benefits the surrounding community there. So we do have some work left to do there. Our friends over at Environmental Protection Department have helped us out in terms of mapping. Everyone knows that the east side is has more challenges, has more environmental challenges than does the west side of the county, just due to the nature of its soils and how wet it is. And what you're seeing here is where we're carving out those areas that we know would be problematic for development. You're seeing the hatched areas denoting the floodplain and wetland areas, as well as areas that have special restrictions that might be related to either ecosystems or to the airport authority, because they have areas which you can't have development occurring because of FAA regulations, the red areas. And so we need to, as we define overall where we'd like to see new development, we also need to have those carve outs of places, so that we don't send our consultant when we bring them on a wild goose chase. We're going to need to be able to say it's not 1,000 acres that we have to work with. It's 500 acres that we have to work with. And I don't know the total acreage as of yet off of this map, but I'm just giving a for instance, so that we begin with the end in mind and are developing in areas and proposing concepts for development that are appropriate and won't have to be revised later on because they were promoted in the wrong area. So this is a big first step for us for better refinement of what those areas are. It's a fairly general map. It's not a specific map for development purposes. You would have to go in and further delineate wetlands and buffer areas, but this gives us a decent understanding of where there are opportunities for additional enhanced, denser quality industrial and commercial developments in this region. Are there any questions about the study area map or its origins or history?
I don't have any questions about the origin or history, but I was just wondering about the incentives that to attract that, that type of commercial and industry.
Well, Florida has always had the problem of approaching incentives as we're the sunshine state. Why wouldn't you want to locate in a extremely low tax, no income tax state with lots of sunshine and beaches everywhere? We don't have a great deal of incentives, and we don't traditionally have that, especially with the state of Florida now removing its QTI program, the Qualified Targeted Industry Program. We don't even have that limited tool to bring folks in. We were having a conversation with U.S. Real Estate Division about how we can use things for where there's county ownership of property.
Yeah, that's what I was reading.
Some form of, and I'm speaking specifically now about the eco-industrial park properties, which occupies the far northeastern quadrant of the Gateway Study area. What we did was we came up with a baseline cost per acre per year based upon a market analysis of other industrial lands and like type projects of around $8,000 an acre per year. And our thinking is what we can do after we've established the ceiling of what the land value, a market rate land value might be, we could, if a proposal came in that met all of our criteria to bring high quality jobs, to meet the goals and objectives of the eco-industrial park and be a good fit for the community, we could perhaps negotiate down the annual lease rate. So instead of it being, say, $8,000 an acre, which would be the going market rate, we could offer that maybe $5,000 an acre or $4,000 an acre per year to reduce the net cost to the industry as an incentive to bring them in. And this would be a year over year incentive as well. So that's one of the tech mechanisms that we could build into the recruitment of industries, to have that flexible fee based upon if you're doing a good thing, if you're bringing high quality jobs, you get a bonus, you get an incentive and a reduction in your overall rate, your lease rate.
How about waiving permit fees and impact fees and things like that the county could do? They could also do that, couldn't they?
For fees, we're not able to necessarily waive fees. We could offer to pay fees, though. I don't think we're allowed in government to do that. There might be some statutory allotments for those items. I think what we would have to do, though, is someone would have to pay the fee. And so what we could do is, if it was a high priority business, a high priority enterprise, we could perhaps discuss using another source of funding to pay those fees, so the business wouldn't have to.
How about the capital investment tax credit that the state offers to, when you find a small industry coming in with a limited 100 jobs? Have they looked into that as an incentive too, or has that been red lined also?
I don't know specifically if that has.
Okay. You just never know.
Yeah, we are of course, we always have the tool of industrial development revenue bonds. Mm-hmm. Which interesting enough, I just had a conversation this morning with an enterprise that may be gearing up around the Hawthorne area, Ellen. So we let them, they're looking into that right now. And we offer that up as a potential financial tool to have a lower cost of money for them. Again, the county acts as a pass-through, so that industries can either purchase land or go vertical or make improvements to properties. It has to be agreed to by the Board of County Commissioners, and the business has to be able to meet all of its obligations. It wouldn't be the Alachua County that would be taking on any kind of CapEx debt. It would be the industry that would still have to hit its financial marks to be able to qualify for that. But it is a really good tool, and the county has used it in the past to do multi-billion dollar expansions for Shands to build entire hospitals well into the $100 million range, as well as things as small scale as roadway improvements for the Oak Hall private school down off of Tower Road. So it's a fairly flexible tool. There are probably thresholds for its utility though. And I would imagine that given the fees that are associated with it, that it would probably be somewhere in the order of six figures that before you wanted to look at that as a mechanism for capital finance. All right, Diane, I know you had some feedback for me, and we can do that offline if you'd like, or here in the meeting, whatever you would like.
Yeah, no, that's okay, because I don't want to take up everybody's time. There's just some minor things, and I'll just contact you, and we'll just have a conversation, okay?
That sounds great.
All righty.
If there's no other questions about the Airport Gateway project, the Sports Event Center, we're starting to see news stories come out on that as we turn concepts into a reality. And again, being that it's close to a $70 million project, there's lots to discuss and lots to work through. We're just about to put ink to paper on our pre-development agreement. It's in its pretty much its final draft. I believe that will probably be signed within the next couple of days. That sets the terms for doing all the design work right now. You know, the developer will be fronting all the money to do that architectural and engineering work for the facility itself, and a lot of the supporting infrastructure as well. Once we get to the end of the design work, that will be sometime in June, July, probably closer to July. The board will be at a decision point for deciding whether or not they want to proceed with construction or not. They'll have an opportunity, a formal opportunity at 60% design plans, which should be back before our board somewhere in April to look and see how the project is progressing. But we're going to be going back just about every board meeting so that there's no surprises as we lead up to 60% plans and then eventually 90% plans in July. We don't want there to be any new things that happen where they don't realize either scope had moved or any other issues had come up that would change their understanding. So we're going to keep them fully informed and the community informed as this develops. One of the interesting things that has come up, which we didn't foresee when we were putting forward the RFP or when the developer was developing the response, was an opportunity to include batting cages inside the facility. Remember, this is an indoor facility that's capable of hosting track and field events. It has a ceiling height big enough that you can do pole vault in. So if that gives you a sense of scale of what we're looking at for an NCAA rated track and field facility. But the batting cages will work in concert with other outdoor event facilities we have in the community here. It gives another opportunity for complementary endeavors to go on. So it's not competing with the facilities out in Newberry, just as the other interesting addition into the program was archery. And I'll pull up the plan so you can see that, so you can see how this works. So north is to the right on here where the mouse is right now. And this tournament area here is where all of the major events happen, seating around 3,500 people. It can fit 13 basketball courts, and you see them schematically laid out here, as well as the removable track, the oval removable track. This is a bank track system. This is what gets us, no pun intended, in the running for NCAA level events. You can also see the batting cage outlines in here. Again, an indoor opportunity to train. There is facilities to the eastern portion, and you see a kind of a green highlight here. The first floor is for storage of the track system. When it's not track season, this needs to be dismantled and moved into a special storage area. The second floor of this will hold an archery range for competitive archery. Again, this is working in concert with other archery groups. I believe out towards, again, Newberry area, there are archery ranges out there. And so this complements their efforts and coordinates with them so that we can host more competitive events and draw more of these events into our area. To the immediate south of the storage and archery area is a cheerleading competition. So this is all designed to be NCAA rated mat sports, NCAA rated cheerleading gym mat areas in here. It also has workout space and locker room areas associated with it. And to the immediate north, the main entranceway. So to orient you on the site, you have Bass Pro Shops to the immediate north, and you have the AMC theaters to the immediate south. And the main walkable boulevard, the Grand Hall fronts that boulevard, that pedestrian walking area. This is where you'll come into the facility where it is flanked by two buildings that will be held by the developer. The ground floor will be retail, and the developer is thinking that the ground floors would be something like food service, restaurant, that could also potentially open up into the Grand Hall so that you could use this space for additional events for food service, food catering, rental of the Grand Hall itself, in addition to rental opportunities for the main facilities here. And this has a second floor overlook of the courtyard area that allows for TV broadcast to occur, and also allows for special spectating areas on the second floor of the Grand Hall over here.
Did you get any feedback on, I know you were looking for some kind of funding for the track. Have you received any feedback on that?
No specific feedback on the track.
I think at the last meeting, there was a grant that was being applied for.
We are applying for state assistance. So we're requesting 2.5 million. So that's moving into committee very soon. It's got multiple stops, and you might have seen a news article where I believe it was Representative Clemens talking about this. The magnitude of our request at $2.5 million is a bit more than what is traditionally asked for out of the state legislature. But remember that the state budget of Florida is around $96 billion. So all in all, it's a large request comparatively to other local asks, but we think that a facility of this scale and of a regional economic impact, that it warrants that level of state partnership, especially as it's going towards the bank track system, which there won't be another indoor track facility, NCAA rated indoor track facility in the state of Florida or within a 5-mile drive. So that places us up to as far as South Carolina, Georgia, and parts of Alabama. So this is a regional. It not only impacts Florida in terms of the benefit it provides, it also, its market reach is out of the state, where 54% of the attendees of the 700,000, well over 700,000 visitors a year that this facility can host, 54% of them will be out of state visitors. And that's what we want. We want people to come down here and stay in hotels. We want those, that is because that is a source of funding for the county. The 30 million we're putting into this is from bed tax.
That
Um,
text, yeah.
And so it must feed into that. And so out of those 700,000 visitors, you're talking that's then an impact of about 116,000 bed nights a year, over $12 million a year in hotel spending, and $77 million a year in total economic output, and with a direct and indirect and induced benefit of over 1,100 jobs in the community. So it's a high impact project. It directly addresses some of the problems that our hotel, retail, and hospitality industries are struggling with right now with COVID impacts. This is part of that response and part of that bigger solution. It makes our community well positioned to roar back stronger than before, and the benefits extend well beyond just Celebration Point. But I am biased.
Yeah, but sounds good.
Jeff, you're muted.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It sounds tremendous. I mean, I can picture it. It's quite an addition to the community. It's outstanding.
We feel fairly confident that we haven't just come up with something. We've been working on this since really since 2018. We've brought in folks that are professional in the field, and we've told them don't tell us something that's not going to work or not going to be true. We don't want to build a white elephant. We need you to have give us the best possible advice you can. And if it doesn't work, tell us not to do it. If it can work, tell us how it works and where it best works. And it's at this location. This is how we make those numbers work. So, and we couldn't, quite frankly, we only have $30 million. That's it. We don't have $70 million. This is the other benefit of a public-private partnership. We would never be able to build this facility by ourselves. So this really is the power of a public-private partnership. We're leveraging well over 50% of the funds to build this, and all the surrounding amenities that support it. And I think that's all I have for staff report right now. We're moving into our bi-weekly meeting schedule with the design team, and Heather is helping us with the sustainability metrics for the facility. Again, this is going to be a building that's got to last at least 30 years, and it's going to have some expenses related to it. And we want to try to minimize those and minimize its environmental footprint, while we maximize its economic potential.
Okay. Do you want me to chair, or is Marlon there?
I still do not see Marlon in the queue.
No.
So I believe you are the official chair.
Okay, I just didn't want to, I didn't want to be presumptuous if he was online, because I can't see because I'm on my telephone instead of the laptop like I explained to you. Well, that all sounds really good, and thank you for the updates. And so I guess we go to members' comments if there are any. Just chime in, because unfortunately I'm having Wi-Fi difficulty. So just if you have something to add and share with us, please do so. Oh, okay. Hearing none. Is there anything else, Sean, that you'd like to comment on? And if not, then I would assume that we could adjourn the meeting.
Madam Chair, I have no other updates for the committee, and we look forward to seeing everyone on March 25th.
Yes, the next meeting is March 25th. Now, Sean, that is during spring break for the school system. So I don't know if that will be problematic for some of our membership or not. but whether they will be able to tune in on that time. Sean, one question, when do you think we can get back to meeting in person? Do you think maybe sometime May or June? Would that be a good target date?
Madam Chair, the operating in workshop format is at the discretion of the committee.
Okay.
We have many folks that just have a preference for doing that until everyone is vaccinated. But again,
Okay.
if y'all would like to meet in person for these meetings, let me know and we can make arrangements. As small as EDAC is right now, I think we could do it safely and have everyone spaced out. If we had all positions filled and I had to make space for everyone, I don't know if I could guarantee that right now. But if y'all want to have the March meeting as an in-person meeting, we can do that. And we can definitely look into the spring break issue and see about pushing or pulling it 1 week ahead or behind so that we don't conflict with attendance.
Well, I just didn't know. I just, I saw that it was spring break, but well, you know what? It's up to the membership and whatever they would like to do. Maybe what they could do is email you their feelings, or, and say, give a target date that they possibly would like to have in-person meetings. How would that be all right with you?
That sounds, normally we would request a vote of the committee members that in attendance, but since we can't do that, that is the ideal way to handle it. So
yeah, because we're in a workshop, so I can't take a vote. Well, why don't we do that? All the members, they can just maybe provide you with a target date. And with that, if there's a consensus, then you'll notify us, okay?
I will. Yes, ma'am.
Where would the meeting be?
We would have to meet in a county facility. More than likely, if y'all wanted to, it would be in the Grace Night conference room. That way we could have as much control over the hygiene of the space as possible. I wouldn't want to go to, and I don't even know if we could utilize the Santa Fe College space, just because, or even the city space. I would just feel much more comfortable knowing our facility staff have taken care of everything and are doing the cleanup afterwards. So we would more than likely host in the county administration building on the second floor over here in our Grace Night conference room.
Oh, okay. All right, hearing no comments from the membership, I will just adjourn the meeting.
Thank you very much. Appreciate everyone's time.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Stay safe.
Bye.